Hello and welcome to Attention Central Texas. I'm your host, Charles Jenkins, and today we have another exciting show in store for you. We have Miss Carol Shoemaker. Hello and welcome to today's show.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Shoemaker, just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an author, writer, and I wrote a book, Skeletons in the Closet, last year.
Okay.
And I am involved in topics related to adoptions,
Okay.
adoptees, and anything that is any kind of subject. I guess I have an opinion on it, you know.
Okay.
That affects people.
All right. Speaking of the title of your book, Skeletons in the Closet, what is kind of the premise or what's your book about?
Well, I had found my adoption papers in the hall closet of my father when I was 13. And later on, I had discovered that I had a twin sister.
Wow.
So that's the reason for the two skeletons in the closet.
Okay. When you found out you had a twin sister, what went through your mind?
Well, I had grown up as an only child. And so having a twin was just like a great thing, although we have never met.
Okay. What, speaking of your book, I see that, when is it available?
Well, it's going to be available, although it was published last year, I actually did a revised manuscript.
Okay.
And it's going to be ready in approximately 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
From the publisher. Yeah.
Where can people purchase it? Do you have a website, or do you have your own website, or the company you use to publish it?
No, I have my own website. It's
Okay.
www.cshoemaker.com.
Okay. Will you have the price and everything on
Yes,
this?
I have the book that's available from the website. Actually, I would rather the people purchase the book at my website.
I got you.
Or through my website. But they can purchase it at bookstores, Amazon.com.
How has writing your book affected you in the sense of, because I know when you wrote it, some of those emotions probably came up. How has it affected you and your family knowing now that you've written about one of the skeletons in the closet?
Well, my adoptive family, actually all of my adoptive family are deceased.
Oh, okay.
So, but how it affects me, it was very difficult to write. It took a long time. And as I was typing and everything, I'd be crying on the keyboard. So it took me a long time to actually sit down and write it. As far as my family members, some of my children couldn't understand why I have to look for information about my adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And really the only people that can understand it are those who have been affected
Yes.
by adoption or are adult adoptees.
To the person sitting watching today that has been adopted and just found out they have been adopted, what advice can you give them?
Well, there are lots of support groups now. There are support groups. There are places where they can search. They have a place called adoption.com where they can go and search in the different states. It's very difficult if they don't have, or if they have limited information.
Yeah.
What I did also is took a DNA test.
Okay.
I went through Family Tree DNA that's in Houston. And I actually started connecting with my relatives. But I had a lot more information than most adoptees.
What do you think your sister is aware of that she's been adopted, or?
Well, I've actually found her, and I have sent letters to her. The problem is that many people are at different levels.
Yeah.
They have reasons maybe why they don't want to be contacted. And maybe she's not ready yet, but I know that, God will, in His time, will
That's right.
connect us.
So is that the reason it took you so long to write, just the emotions stirred up behind it?
No, actually, my youngest son passed away in 2002.
Okay.
And he was an avid supporter of what I was doing. He wanted me to find out. He knew how I needed to fill that emptiness, that part. And so it took me a long time, the grieving process, which actually I don't think you ever get over losing a child, but where I could actually sit down and write.
Wow. Do you feel the book trailer captured the essence of your story?
I do. I think they did a very good job, and I'm very pleased with it. I know at first I was kind of like, but as I showed it to different people, they really liked it, and I said, yeah, okay, well it does, capture it.
When you wrote it, did you get the feeling that this can be such a great resource for someone who's went through something similar to what I went through?
Well, I'm on Facebook as well, and I talk to people on Facebook who have read my book.
Wow.
And they tell me they're going to go to my website and I have a message board, and they've told me how it has helped them.
Oh, good.
So even though I had my own reasons for writing it, later I realized it is to help heal other people who are in the similar situations.
That's right, and through that, both of y'all may be blessed. You and the person reading it may be blessed out of it.
Well, God showed me that I would be healed through the healing of others, and this, I believe, is a perfect way of healing it. One aspect of healing.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything you would like to say about adoption itself?
Well, I am not against adoption. Okay, not all adoptions are the same, and people grow up differently in their, in their adoption experience. Some have a great home, others have a not so great home. So I think it's a good thing to adopt. I just believe that the law should return to what it was initially made for, and that is for all children at the age of 18 to find out who they are. Because, and I take the example of Moses. If God had not wanted Moses to find out who he was, he just wouldn't have let him know.
Right. That's right.
So God knows it's important to us to make that family, to make that connection.
That's right. What are your goals for the future in regards to adult adoptees?
Well, what I would like to do, and I've been planning this for probably a year, is to film a documentary. Okay. And where the adoptees would maybe come to Austin. I'm a member of the Austin Film Society. Okay. So they would come to Austin, and we would, just film there. And wherever God leads.
That's right. And God has a thing for when he shows up, he shows out. Yes. And just in regards to bringing people together and just doing great things. Absolutely. Do you have a date in mind that you would like this to?
Well, I would like, also I'd like to, work in legislation. So okay. I have a couple of irons in the fire, but I would like to do the documentary, hopefully in the summer or this summer or the fall of this year. So.
And I hear you using his name a lot, so I'm just going to ask the question: how does God fit into everything you're doing? Well,
he's number one. With me, he's number one. And in everything that I do. So, and I know that he was with me in my book, and I know that it says that he will order our steps, So I just listen for that small voice. I listen for the Holy Spirit to guide me.
That's right.
Where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to do.
I noticed earlier you said you have your own website and you have this page on your site where people write. Yes. Reading what people write and just going through the stuff, and they're sharing stuff that's similar to yours. What impact, and I know you say it touched you, but what impact does that have on you?
Well, it tells me that I'm on the right track. It tells me that yes, people need to hear from somebody else who has gone through it, and so it resonates with them. and so it can help to heal their spirit and heal their heart.
How was your experience in working with your publisher and the going back and forward, getting this together and getting that together? How was that for you?
Well, you know, I needed a deadline to finish my book. And so Publish America gave me a deadline. And I sat down, I finished the book in 3 months.
Wow.
Okay. I would maybe finish 10,000 words in a day, and I would have to rest for a couple of days
Yeah.
and come back to it, you know. But the experience that I had with the publisher, because they're not like a regular publisher, okay? It's kind of like you don't have to pay anything for it,
Wow.
which is very good. But you have to, later, you know, you have to buy the books, or you kind of have to do your own advertising, that sort of thing. They just kind of help you get started there. I was thrilled with the cover. I was thrilled with really with most of what they did.
Wow.
So we had a good experience.
We have less than a minute left. If there's something I didn't talk about that you want to share, what would that be?
Oh, that's kind of difficult. But well, like I said, that if you're an adoptee, then know that God wants you to know where you came from, so you'll know where you're going.
Wow.
And there are a lot of places to connect to. Contact me, and I'll help you. You know, I will help you to do as best as I can to get you going.
All right. Well, Ms. Shoemaker, I want to take this time to say thank you for being on the show, and thank you for sharing that touching story.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am. And thank you, our viewers, for tuning in to Attention Central Texas.
Behind closed doors, inside darkened closets, are secrets. Secrets that quickly turn to skeletons. Lives can so easily be ruined by the turn of a knob. How do I know? Because that's what happened to me. At 13, I had made peace with who I was. During my parents' sober times, I actually thought we were a normal family. But our house beautiful turned into a house of horrors. All of the drinking, fighting, and unhappiness brought on a separation. It was one of the weekends I spent with Dad that I decided to peer into a closet. I seemed drawn to it. Inside, I found much more than I bargained for. From that day forward, my life would never be the same again. Everything I believed about my life and who I was crumbled into a million tiny puzzle pieces. Walk with author Carol Shoemaker as she opens her heart and shares this very personal journey of discovery in Skeletons in the Closet.